Alright, I've been requested to update the tier list, and I said I was only going to do it after having some more use of the new Stranger Things characters. It's very of unused for me to make a full tier list video, like not even like 3 weeks after the last one, but you know, we did get 4 new characters, and I wanted to update a few of the other characters in the tier list regardless, just because of the meta is kind of shifting with the new Chandler. Now, more and more assault melees, which I just have to. Like, assault melees everywhere, bro. Like, every few matches is either Tarmia Starosa, assault melee Chandler, or Merlin. Any variation of Merlin. It could be Merlin Lucio, Merlin Emilia, Merlin whatever. That's most matches. Escanor is here and there, which kind of makes me want to put Escanor down, but I won't yet, because Escanor by himself is just such a threat. You put Escanor in like the 4th slot, and he can legitimately carry you a match just by existing. Like, he's just such a force to be reckoned with. But that's honestly the only reason why I'm not putting him down from Broken's here. Maybe also I'm a little biased because Askner is my favorite character, but like, you know, not favorite unit, favorite character, like character from the show. My favorite unit, honestly, is still Estarossa. Like, I can't just not hear him say Furukanta and just melt every time. But talking about Assault Melee, it's just I initially didn't put him on Broken tier on my update for Chandler. To input Chandler and Zeldris in the tier list, because last tier list what I did was there were only 2 new characters, but I wanted to put Chandler and Zeldris and also update the PvE side of the tier list because a new raid had come out. You can tell if you had not seen the other tier list video, you know, we have now Red Hair Liz in S tier when you choose to be like what, C or D tier. Just because she is absolutely phenomenal for the new raid, and the new raid is a difficult PvE content. You definitely want to be looking into getting those good units for that raid leveled up. I already have a video beating the raid on the channel. I didn't actually make any more videos on it because honestly, you can only do the raid 3 times a day, and I usually just do my 3 with Speedy and just get it done with, you know. I don't really worry too much about it, but I might just make a more detailed, you know, tutorial on how to beat the raid. It's very I don't want to say free-to-play friendly, but like random friendly. If you play anything that's above extreme, like extreme in hell with randoms, you're probably gonna lose because randoms are so stupid. But playing like with randoms on like hard from like invites is fine, but this new raid is kind of difficult. That's why I did make the update with only 2 new characters, but with 4 new characters, you know, with the Stranger Things, I definitely want to talk about some extra stuff. I do have a request though for the ones that play JP or have been keeping up with videos from JP. I've been thinking about putting Sauriel down from Broken's here. He's still a phenomenal PvE unit, but honestly, he can't compete in PvP anymore. I'm keeping him there just because I love him so much, but I want to know, what do you think? If you've been keeping up with GP meta, you might know, Sauriel has been struggling to keep up. He can deal with Ascanor pretty well, even though he has type disadvantage, but he struggles so hard to deal with Merlin, even though he has type advantage over her. He struggles so hard to deal with Assault Meliodas, he struggles so, especially with Chandler. Chandler is such a cuck for Sauriel, it's not even funny. You barely see Sauriel anymore in PvP, but I want to know what you think. I've been thinking about it, but one thing that I am gonna do, the one unit in this video I am gonna put down, is Zeldris. I had way more hopes for him. Last time I put him on the tier, I said I put him in God tier, but he's the worst from God tier, by far the worst. And the more time passes, the less and less I see Zeldris. Zeldris is decent, but he isn't great. Like, if you face one of the most popular teams right now, Estarossa Chandler, Estarossa's Tarmiel, or Chandler as well. Chandler, you can go on the trio, right? You can, people are either using like Chandler Tarmiel, Estarossa Chandler, SR Starman is still the most popular, right? If you face that team, Zeldris is absolutely useless. He's absolutely useless. He's a complete handler to your team. If you face Merlin, he's mostly useless because you're not really banking on ults for Merlin. You're just taking, lowering their HP, turn by turn by sealing their HP related stats, and then those incredibly strong like single targets. And assault melees are probably his best bet, but even still, with people using immunity so much, Zeldris is just not very good. So I have to put him down. He is quite possibly just the worst festival ever released. At release date, King is probably the current worst festival, but it's Zeldris, man. I just had so much hopes for Zeldris, but I think it's fine. Like, I saw someone say not every single festival has to be like a meta-changing unit. A meta-changing unit is definitely Chandler. Chandler has released with Zeldris, and he is a meta-changing unit. Like, I'm telling you, lots of people are switching from using Escanor because Escanor gets kind of cucked by Chandler. And, I don't know. That's why I've also been thinking about putting him down. He's just a lot of... I've been thinking about it, but I'm not so sure if I should. So I want to see your input in the comments. But sorry, it's been like 6 minutes and I haven't even talked about the Stranger Things characters. But it's just because the meta on JP has been very interesting lately. Now talking about the Stranger Things characters. Now first I want to talk about probably my favorite unit from the batch, which is Gem. Gem makes me so happy. I don't know why, it's just such a good time using him. He is such a versatile unit, being able to deplete ultimate gauge and stun. Like, I hate stuns, but like, I love him when he does it. His voice line is just so good. Like, it's everything about him. I think his voice lines add to his character as well. I saw on the Reddit, by the way, someone made a voice line tier list. I want to make a video on that. I might actually do that. Make my own voice line tier list as well. I just need to like go over so many characters and like hear the voice lines over and over again, But his voice lines add to his character for sure. And I don't know, he's such a joy to use with any collab characters because any collab characters work with his passive, like any of them. Some people think only Stranger Things characters work, but it's any of them. So I've seen, Speedy made a video on Kyo. I haven't made a video on Kyo yet, but Speedy made a video on Kyo and it works super well. I made a video on Ram, Emilia, on Eleven herself, and it's just, his passive is just so good. And I think the poison part is even like, kind of like overlooked. The poison has killed, like, won me the match so many times when I use him. It's just, I just love this character. So I'm giving him God tier for sure. He's just so good. And he's my favorite from the batch. I love 11 because she's like ooga booga big damage, but when I use Gem, I'm just like, he's just so much fun. So yeah, but moving on to a not so good character. I just actually today made a video on Mike, and then after recording the video, I took some more use of him on PvP and a little bit on PvE as well. Mike, on paper, seemed much better, but I think his stats being incredibly low, and he having like a very bad infect card, and this card is okay for ult rushing, but he's just not the greatest. Like, he's very mediocre, is the word I'm looking for. Like, yeah, you can make him work in specific teams, but most often than not, if you're facing, first of all, a real player, and they know how to think, they're probably going to squash you. It's just how things are. He's very decent on paper, being able to attack lower, but in practice, this ability just isn't the absolute greatest. So I'm going to have to give him like a low tier. I don't think he's as bad as Beatrice, so I'm just going to give him like B tier. Like, he goes side to side with like with like Aaron Mikasa here, but he's just very mediocre, and that's okay. Like, not every character has to be broken, you know what I mean? Like, not every character has to be God tier. 11 though, she is God tier. 11 is just so good. Like, she is what I like. She is ooga booga big damage. That's why I like Escanor, that's why I like Sario. Ooga booga big damage always makes me happy. She is, I want to say, almost as strong as Sario. The only reason I'm not putting her broken tier is because what I just said about the PvP meta currently. it's either Assault Melee, Estarossa Tarmiel, or Merlin. You see how many green units I'm talking about? Escanors are very rare. When you face Escanor, it's probably your best bet. She wipes Escanor so easily. But Merlins aren't so easy to deal with, and nor are Assault Melees. So she can have issues with that, and that's probably why I'm not putting her gods here, but she has so much potential being... She's basically a blue Sauriel. So if the meta ever shifts from being... Currently the meta is very green. If the meta shifts now to be like full-on red type units, then she's gonna be like super broken, right? But how things are right now, she's just so good. Her passive is just like kind of dumb. Like they went with like, oh, she does like 40% actual damage against everything, but she loses 10% of her HP. Well, you forget about lifesteal, right? Every time she attacks, yeah, she loses the HP, but she gains it back. So how it works is you gain the HP back and then you lose the HP from the passive. So the first time you attack with her, you're gonna like heal, but you're already full HP, and then you lose the 10%, right? But if you do like consecutive attacks, like you do like 3 attacks back to back to back, you do the attack, you lose the HP, then in the next attack you heal the HP you just lost, and then you lose HP again. So if you do like 3 attacks, all you did was lose 10% of HP. So it's not really that, it's not even that bad, you know what I mean? It's 10% of remaining HP, meaning if you have like 20% of your HP left, you're not gonna lose half of your HP, you know what I mean? You're gonna lose 10% off the 20%. So you're gonna lose like 2% of your max HP. So it's like, her passive is just so good, like it is just so good. And she's just really good, just in general, very solid DPS Ooga Booga unit, and I really like her. Her ultimate doesn't seem like the greatest, because the multiplier is not that high, but that 40% heal, plus the 40% damage from passive, like you're pretty much one-shotting everyone, and the heal is just... She's just really good. Like, she's just really, really good. Will. Will was the character I thought was going to be the best one, but I just got incredibly disappointed with him. Sorry, I just moved. My chair is just so bad. I'm getting a new chair. I'm moving again. I just moved recently and I'm moving again to like a better place because my apartment is just so loud. Like construction nearby, so many kids in the neighborhood. You know how much I love kids. But when I move, I'll get a new chair. I'm just gonna leave this one here. But anyways, I thought he was gonna be the best one, and turned out that I think he's the worst one. Like the thing is that this passive is the biggest double-edged sword ever. It could work in your favor sometimes, but most of the time, if the enemy has half of a brain, or is a real player, or both, they're gonna use this against you. Like this superpower ability looks super good on paper, but in practice, yeah, you're gonna be immune for 1 turn, but first of all, if you're taking an Escanor ultimate, you're just gonna die. Like, he doesn't just protect you from being one-shot, nor he protects you from Escanor's ultimate in general. The death effect from Escanor's ultimate still kills you. Like, if let's say Escanor attacks you, let me actually find that clip, because this is from a Japanese player. So he's using Will, right? And then Escanor ults the end. The end doesn't die from the first blast. She becomes immune from Will's passive, right? And then dies. So, you know. Or I think she doesn't even get to become immune. She just dies before she is able to become immune. So, I don't know. His passive is just a very big, like, double-edged sword. Lots of times my enemies would just make me go below 50 just so I wouldn't be able to get ultimate gauge or to weaken me when I have an ultimate. Let's say I have an ultimate, they just make me fall below 50, now I'm 20% weaker for free. You know what I mean? It's just such a free like control for your enemy to make you to like seal your ultimate gauge or attack lower you, and it's just horrible, horrible, horrible. So I have to give Will like C tier. He's just a horrible, horrible, horrible hindrance to your team when your enemy knows how to, you know, use that against you, and he just doesn't do any damage. His ultimate is incredibly weak, even though I thought he was going to be actually very strong. He was the biggest disappointment for me. I thought he was going to be the best unit from the batch, and he ended up being the worst in my opinion. So that's it, Ginger Things. I mean, honestly, I'm pretty happy with, like, Jim and 11 are super fun. They are on the level of what I thought Ram and Emilia were fun-wise, I still think Amelia is the best collab character, baby. But I'm thinking of putting her broken tier as well. But yeah, let me know what you think. And let me know also, should I put down Sario? Should I put down Escanor? Let me know.